How are you? We are live. We are now live. I am going to give our guests that are watching in a few more minutes, a few more seconds maybe, to come in and then we will get started. How's everybody doing? If you are here live tonight, please like this video, comment, you know, give a shout out, say who you are, where you're from, where you're listening from. And I know this video is live recorded, but it'll also be available for those that are not able to view it live. You can also view it, at a later date. So we'll wait, give some moments for others to come in. In the meantime, the topic for today is revealing of this year 2023 and what that means in the form of numerology, what it means in the form of symbols, what this means. There's a lot of correlation, a lot of talk about this year in particular, because if you look at 2023 as a number system, when you add up those numbers, it equals seven. And so seven is a very significant time because of what seven means. Seven represents, it's a very spiritual number. So this is a very spiritual year, meaning spiritual being energetic has a lot to do with energy. All right, I think we got a few more people coming in. So we're not going to fully get going right away. I'm going to give that time. Okay. And like I said, if you're in, if you're here live, go ahead and leave a comment. State who you are, where you're coming from, or where you are viewing from. What part of the world are you? And yeah, let me know how you feeling. Are you excited about this year? I know everybody's feeling something different, and as well, tonight is a full moon as well. It's a full moon of Cancer. So again, here we go. We're speaking on this year being very watery, very spiritual. All right, give me 1 second. Okay. All right. All right, so we are just going to get rolling. We're going to just get the ball rolling. All right. As a lot of you may know, if you don't know, my name is Johnny Burgess. I go by Johnny. As well as I also go by Oba. Um, some of you may know me as Oba. Some may know me as Johnny. Either way, it's fine. It's okay. I'm so excited for you to be here. I'm glad that you're here. First off, this is a beautiful year, 2023. It's a very vibratory year. As I was saying earlier, this year represents the elements, starting to now cycle into the elements and what elemental energy means. It is a form of what we call magic, not the magic that we are mostly familiar with. The magic of the planet is how the planet operates. So as we notice, a lot of weather shifts are happening all over the world. A lot of things are happening, as far as politics and celebrities, just a lot of stuff is happening. So this year is already giving us that symbolic reference of emotions, emotional. When we talk about emotions, we refer to as emotions being energy in motion. Energy that is in motion has a purpose. We're speaking on a frequency of communicating with our higher self, communicating with different realms. This year is going to be a very thin veil between the spirit realm and the physical realm. Some of us are feeling it. Some people I speak with, they're calling me or texting me a lot, and they're saying that they're feeling this sort of like a riding a wave feeling, or like you're on a boat. And because the climate, of course, as so above, also below, the climate and the atmosphere is changing and shifting, so is the energetic earth. Now, Earth, as we call her the Great Mother, Great Gaia, um, the Great Spirit of this, what we are standing upon, also Ile Aye, um, is a spiritual conscious being. Earth is a spiritual conscious being. Earth is very much alive and she has feelings. Earth is what we call the great mother or the great sister or daughter energy. It's the feminine force, a feminine planet that is coming into its understanding of adulthood, or she's striving to become this great woman spirit. So just as a young girl goes from girl to teenager, and from teenager to a young adult woman, she starts to manifest ideas of giving birth, and within that, she's touched by the spirit of Earth, the feminine force of this planet, and she gives her this energy, this chi, to manifest children. And so a lot of women have this ability where they can think up the child. They can think, visualize how they want their child to look, how they want them to talk, what they would like them to dress like. And these women, powerful women, every woman on the planet has this power source, this gift to design how the form of this child would possibly be created or manifested. And so this is the power source of the energy that the Great Mother gives all women within this transition of womanhood. Now, Earth herself is having her own transition, and what is considered her babies or her children? It's us, the Earth-born beings, the ones that hold the charge of the energetic light of Mother Earth. So we are uh, vibrationally connected to the Great Mother, and this is why we are magnetically charged and seated on the Great Mother. So whatever shifts and things that happen with her, we also feel it on the inside. On the inside of us as well, if you have these, there are high powered tools, technology that is able to look inside of the body, look inside of the cells of the body. And when you look deep, deep within us, we are all made up of the galaxy. Cosmic dust, cosmic light, planets are in there. Solar systems, its own working functional force. So we are also our own temple planet. We are a walking planet. So we are responsible partly to hold a specific charge to help or enhance Mother Earth to raise her frequency, so that we can also ascend in our consciousness. Which brings us back to this year. 2023 is a year of ascending the consciousness. Why is it? Why do we say ascending the consciousness? What are we really saying? Well, if we look at number 7 as being a symbolic number of the spirit realm, there are 7 cycles. We have a lot of things that goes in cycles within the number 7. You may see different movies that may have 7 in it. We may be talking about the 7 gods or the 7 deities or the 7 mountains, or you may hear something like the 7 rings or the 7 of its 7 days of creation. So a lot of things goes into rotation in a transformative way when it's moving through that number 7. Number 7 also is a frequency of change, vibrational change. A lot of times it's not physical just yet. It's more like a energetic wave that hits, and then the physical follows like a shadow effect. So whatever you do this year, whatever you put your mind into, whatever you focus into, whatever you are scribing into or subscribing into, which also I want to mention, um, we are launching this esoteric wisdom in um, our platform that we'll be hosting a lot of more videos like this and activities and cool things and live meditations. And we'll be actually inviting other panelists for discussions as well in the near future. We'll be on our new platform, our new page. It is actually in the link description below. It's called Fusionz Holistics. That's going to be our channel. Also, if you look down there, you can find a podcast, Fusionz Holistics podcast, where we will also be posting podcasts as well of esoteric wisdom and the mysteries of ancient civilizations and ancient Earth. So we'll be diving very deep into a lot of spiritual esoteric teachings this year, life path numbers, sequences, stones, crystals, understanding the universe in a cosmic way, the laws of the universe. Um, and we'll just be kind of moving through that cosmic web together. So I would love you all to join the journey. So make sure after this video, if you can, please join down below. The link, I have it below in the description, and join our movement. And let's just see how where this takes us. So circling back around to the number 7 as being this energetic God year. It's like a the energy of the goddess and God. What you would call this, what I would call like a being of. There's no way to actually explain it or express it because it's the all energy. It's the energy of creation. I have a sister that is a great artist. One day soon, I will for sure have her on here as a guest, and that we'll discuss and talk about sacred geometry. Her name is Naomi. She's a beautiful artist. She travels the world. She does a lot of work. She actually, I call her an alchemist, a mental alchemist, because she actually is a shaman woman that meditates with plants, and she goes into the forest and she tunes her frequency intuitively to spirits that sort of pop out of plants, and they show themselves to her, and she draws them. She's a visual artist, very talented, very skilled. But I will have her on here, and she does classes of sacred geometry, of learning how to draw these sacred patterns, these energetic frequencies that actually are real vibrations that we constantly move in and out of like doorways. It's sort of like portals. Like if you notice, like in Doctor Strange, when they're focusing, when they're training so hard on creating these light rings and these different patterns of design by using this power sources like electromagnetic waves or laser beams coming out of their fingers or just being formed out of thin air by the use of their minds. This is also in the practice of qigong and different energy martial arts and frequency training, mind concentration, and different psychological kinetics and how we connect those vibrations. But the number 7 is the representation of that, the gifts that will be exposing itself inside of each sentient being as a gift of their element. Meaning, if you are a water sign, this is a water year. Number 7 represents water. It's a water year of uh, water being conscious, spiritually conscious, and a vessel or a portal into a different dimension. If you're a water sign, let's say like tonight is a Cancer moon, tonight you may feel between tonight and possibly last night, you will feel a higher sense of energy that's flowing through your body differently than an earth sign or a fire sign. It hits them as well, but the wave feels differently with those water signs, like Scorpios, Pisces, Cancer. The water signs that actually revolve the spirit around the element of water. Why is this important? Well, the high frequency of water growing so high, especially during the full moon, when as the sign is Cancer and it's a water sign, it raises the frequency and expands the water. It expands it inside of our bodies so that it can expand it on the planet. You may see more rain during this time. Some places may flood, and it's all happening at the same time, simultaneously. Within your body, there's floods as well. These are the flood of emotions. They're flood of old emotions, things that are cycling back around, boiling themselves up or floating themselves up to the top of the surface of this water for us to scoop it out, for us to clean it out, get rid of a lot of things. So during this time, you may feel the need to cleanse yourself with tears, and tears are cleansing. Crying is a form of cleaning, it's a form of healing. There is scientific proof. I learned this from some of my mentors and my teachers that we have these little tree-like shaped uh, um, this these it's sort of like a something that's connected to the tears. That's at the bottom of the tears, and it's shaped like a tree on a very high focused microscope, and you can see when you cry, this thing breaks off of the tears, and it's sort of like the lizard shedding its skin, and it's renewing itself. So that word renew is another word, a root word for what's happening this year. 2023, which is the number of the cosmic seven, is the new or renewal of consciousness, the renewing of thyself, or rejuvenating the central or the natural spirit. What I mean by natural spirit is your temple space of your home frequency. What is your home frequency? What is your home base feeling? Who are you really? You know, what did you come here for? Not what you were born into, not the religion, not the Boy Scout club, or not this group or that group, or fraternity or sorority, not those labels or displays of character. No, who really are you deep down inside? This is what this number, this year is really having us to focus on internally. um, this is a year of meditation. If you love meditating and you probably have not meditated in a while because life has been crazy and hectic, it's okay. But this year, for sure, you want to carve out some time for yourself, even if it's 7 minutes. It's a number again. We're always going to operate on that number frequency of seven. Um, Even if you meditate for 7 minutes a day, it's more powerful than any other year right now, for the simple fact that now the spirit, the veil of spirit and physical is so thin. Your thoughts can literally become things. And I will say it again, your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, your thoughts literally become things, sometimes right in the moment. A lot of times when we speak, our voices, our the molecules and the warmth of our breath connects with the ether or the space around us. This creates a cosmic charge. This is like an electrical substance that can turn on an entire city just by way of voice. Um, our throat chakras. A lot of times, if we have a repetitive cycle of speaking negative, we sort of tune the throat chakra, which is an actual machine, if you would say. We tune it, and we tune the frequency to have a visual form of sound. And this is what we call the cymatics. And the cymatics is the sight of sound, what it looks like in your eyes. If you saw this sound, this is what it looks like. And a lot of times it looks like a flower of life symbol, or it can be a different symbolic shape that's very similar to a lot of the signs and symbols that we see just walking around our cities. You know, and different graphics, and some corporate companies use their symbols and their logos and graphics with these same what we call like noise symbols. Your eyes can actually understand what it's seeing by way of like hearing it through the eyes. It's very interesting, but the eyes are a higher technological type of a telescope, and it also has frequencies to pick up vibration around itself, and it picks it up in forms of zeros and ones. And as those zeros and ones are put into different combinations, it creates a different fragments of form. So we only need just spectrums of light. And so as we're speaking on this, we're what your thoughts are, what you vibrate or what you think about most, you eventually, your body, the water molecules in the body, because this is the year of water, the water in your body starts to form or crystallize that thing as being a solid, meaning it has to materialize in your physical life. And I will say that in a simpler way, what you think about most, whether it's negative or positive, the universe don't really know the difference. It's very neutral. Whether you're thinking negative or positive, you will create it. It will happen this year. There's other years where it was kind of like, you had to have a few of the other laws that you may have to add on to that to manifest it. And so those are years that you may have to do something physically, a lot of something that involved you to have a lot of repetition on a specific thing. But this year is not one of those years. The repetition is actually the mental muscle. So this is a year of the mental martial artist. Is what I would call it, the mental martial artist. Not so much the martial artist that goes into a dojo and beats things up, or is doing a lot of these different high powered, high force or high flashy kicks and things. We're talking about being able to sit in a meditation for 7 minutes and allow the mind to uh, go into a state of stillness and actually create the life that you want in the next 7 years. Who knows? The universe doesn't really go by the structure of time that we do as human. We like to sort of block or trap time in in space for ourselves so that chronologically we can move from one thing to another. It's very useful, but the universe don't really have that type of perception of time. That means that however strong you focus on a thought that you wish to create, let's say in 7 years, your mind can now go in and fill those spaces in the subconscious. You can train or entrain yourself with repetition of the mind muscle, with chants, with visualization, even staring at different cymatic frequency visual uh, designs like sacred geometry. And you can focus on yourself having that thing or those things or this lifestyle that you desire. And within that, who knows? It can manifest within 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 months, 7 years. It depends on the power that is being put inside of the thought. You think of the thought as an empty cup, and in Taoism they always say that the cup that's empty is most useful because of its space. So we think of space as being a fraction of time that we really can't measure. So we decide where we want to put this thought in the timeline. So we can go into meditation, and you calm your breath down completely, and you imagine yourself leaving your body in a spirit vehicle, and traveling into time, into your future, and see yourself 7 years from now in the future. What do you look like? What do you sound like? What do you walk like? What do you sit like? What are your habits now? Who is in your circle? Is your circle large? Is it small? Is your circle like my circle, like a dot? Very small, but very, very valuable. We understand that what we are is what we attract, and what we are attracted to is what we create. So, who are we giving our energy to? Who are we around most of the time right now? And are these people or individuals or energies, as I would say, these thoughts? They can be thought patterns, these habits, subconsciously that were maybe embedded into us and threaded into our DNA even before we even were born, passed down by family, of things that we felt that we supposed to do just because, based out of fear, which we're gonna also touch bases on fear being connected to the water element of the kidneys and what it actually does, what fear actually does to the entire body, the system of the body. But the people that we associate with, are they the same people that we are going to be around in 7 years? There's another cycle that's going to hit 7 years from now. What we do now this year, how we plant the seed into this year, preferably starting tonight, with visualization and uh, conjuring up what the lifestyle we want to live in 7 years, then there we will be able to see the vibration that we need to be around, what we are attracting, what's already there. Some of the people, around us may not be good for us in this way energetically. They may be, good for us on a physical standpoint. They may look good, they may have a lot of things, but we have to remember the year of seven. This year, you're probably most likely going to go within deeper than you are focusing on material items. It's going to get to a point where possibly, we're going to start tapping into our spiritual energetic body, our aura field. Our energy is actually the currency. That is the current or the electricity or the charge or the water um, that we array from our uh, energy body. And this is, it can go as close as right as a veil that's right grazing above our skin, and also as far as 3 feet, sometimes 10, and depending on how much someone practices their chi energy flow with arts and different breathing exercises, and how much they activate the kundalini, which we will also mention. Um, these individuals become light bearers or light beings, light body frequency practitioners that are able to increase their light body through breath, through sound, through movement, through intention. And they're able to expand their light so far that they can stretch their light from one side of the earth to the other, which creates a grid, a form of a grid, or direct communication or the direct telephone to another being that's sort of in the same frequency as we are at the same time and have a direct connection. This communication is also known as the event horizon as well, and it's a frequency pitch. And so it's where a lot of the monks meditate from. And this is where the telepathic or the telekinesis can happen. And this is where you pick up those downloads or receive the uploads. Or, this is where those events happen on the event horizon. As well as some very conscious beings on the planet that are in the water, way of water, which is, again, I would recommend watching the movie Avatar, the second movie Avatar, Way of Water, because there's a lot of subliminal or subconscious messaging, symbols, signs, and ways of understanding. There's a lot of wisdom in that movie if you just look at it with that eye. You may have to watch it like 2 or 3 times, but first time, watch it for entertainment, enjoy it. Second time, maybe go with a different eye. Go with the eye of understanding, and the third time you watch it, go with the eye of truth. So see if you can invoke the eye of truth, and the third time you watch it, and see it as a documentary. See it as a information hub of the understanding of water. What is water speaking as a consciousness through this film? What are we looking into? What is water trying to say to us this year? We know there's a lot of pollution going on all over the world. A lot of trees have been, cutting down. The environments have shifted because of that. And so, when it comes to our oxygen and things that the human species, what we're experimenting with these days with a lot of different biotechnology that's changing the weather and changing the atoms and molecules in the human structured body as well. We're changing uh, the planet. And the main change of the planet is a frequency, is energetic. So it comes from the conscious, the thoughts. So I remember earlier I was talking about fear being a tool to sort of control the water flow in the human body. Um, as we know, water holds frequency, water holds light, water holds memory. Uh, Water is like the oldest element. They actually don't know how old water is. It's so old. It's very primordial. Water is said to be before everything else, birthed everything else. That's why it's called the Great Mother. The Great Mother energy um, is what birthed all of everything that we see, and it's why everything is able to exist and also reproduce. Uh, all of Earth is feminine. Everything in Earth has a feminine vibration. Even the masculine is very feminine. in its approach to even itself. Um, but what's happening here with fear on this planet is fear is raising a frequency and alerting the Earth, Great Mother Energy, to sort of channel herself into waking up. What a lot of times we may consider these spirit beings or waking up these elementals, or that's when the platonic shifts are happening. Um, or the platonic solids are shifting. That's when the weather starts changing. It's almost as if another form of the goddess is bringing out another form of herself. She's sort of fragmenting herself or uh, splitting herself to wake herself up in different areas of the planet. This is happening everywhere at the same time. There's a lot of interesting things happening with the sun, and the rays are shooting from the sun. A lot of cosmic rays are raising the vibrations of our consciousness, very fast. I have a teacher, mentor that says this technique that the sun technology is using is called the quickening, which is sort of like jumping on a starship and just taking off like at light speed, and just before you know it, you're in a completely different world, completely different time period, and you have a completely different memory, which taps into the genetic memory. So when fear is sort of pushed out into the communities, into the environment, into the conscious mind of the human, it sort of gives the human a revolving cycle pattern of low vibration. And what happens there is when the frequency gets so low within the human species, Big Mama Earth, she starts to look around like, wait a minute, something doesn't feel right. Like all of my children are like sleep, or something's happening. Like I can't feel myself. And so it alerts her to wake up. And she starts to wake up specific elements to sort of like shift everyone that has an elemental energy, whether it's earth, air, fire, water, to shift more into alignment with their element. So you may, if you are, for example, if you are an air sign, let's say if you are a Libra, you're an air sign, and Libra represents balance, equilibrium, harmony, also like self beauty, self expression, creativity, having the freedom to create and expand. And let's say you are this air sign, and this year you may approach this year in a more of a watery format of how you operate your creativity, meaning being in the flow will give you life. Being in the flow is like an antidote to any illness this year for you. When we're looking at this air sign, and also being very mindful of those traps or those cycles, and being trapped air that's just kind of sort of flailing here and there, having like a sporadic mind, or what the Taoists would say, the monkey mind, and instead bringing it all in and focusing on the creativity and where you want your prosperity to go in the next 7 years. For example, in that area, you may find yourself, no matter if you're an air sign, uh, water, fire, or earth, really steering away from a lot of negativity. Why? Because the vibrational frequencies are so sensitive, because of the veils are so thin. We're able to have direct communication with higher consciousness, uh, different beings, diverse, uh, galactic conscious fields, as well as like alternative dimensions that are literally right in our aura space, and our eyes are just not tuned to seeing it. So one of the massive agendas, to keep the human from ascending higher this year, year 7, 2023, is to sort of crack down or press down on the consciousness of the human by pushing out the agenda of extreme fear. Do not scribe into fear this year. Fear of anything. Do not scribe into it. The drama. things like that. Because remember, this year our bodies are water. They're working as a cymatics machine, meaning the machine that measures sound, it measures vibration, it measures frequency, and it actually outputs a visual pattern, a drawing, a design. There's actual now a crystallized structure, and that structure actually has a consciousness, and that structure, that one symbol itself, could write over 100,000 books in different areas, and so that's sort of how our mind works. Our mind, one thought can generate these sound frequency visual patterns, and it can literally either take us on a loop and keep us in a cycle for another 7 years. We have to go back and repeat and learn different lessons that we didn't learn possibly up to now, and or it will send us to our next highest destination, meaning the destiny or the path that we're following, that we're meant to follow, based on our elements, based on our our astrological charts, our nature, which is our natural self, on who we are, who we know we are to be in our hearts. If we align ourselves, then we can ascend to a higher a place of consciousness, whether it's family, whether it's financially, whether it's emotionally, uh, intellectually. No matter what level it is, the mind, connecting the mind, the thoughts, to those elements that we naturally vibrate on, and connecting our path to where we want to be, by way of meditation, chance, practice, energetic healing, energetic frequency, moving chi, moving the body a lot, and focusing and concentrating and staying away from negativity this year. We can literally manifest. You can manifest the true life that you desire here in this space. We have to clean out a lot of the trash as well in our subconscious. A lot of things this year is going to revolve. So this is a renewal stage. The year 7 also is a stage of when things may revolve around old relationships, like exes, and old situations, old pattern conversations between you and your partner or your family may rise up. Things may revolve around. And when you see that revolution coming back around, you have the option to either grasp onto it, which you have to deliberately reach out with your energetic body to grab that thing and focus on it, concentrate and get involved with it, or you can pull back, go into the space within yourself, sit, breathe, meditate, concentrate, contemplate, pay attention to that cycle, and ask yourself, have I seen this before? Have I been through this already? Do I know what this um, brings, what this how I would feel if I was to partake in this thing? Doesn't matter what it is. It could be a conversation, it can be a place, an environment, it can be hanging out with friends or even family. This year is really important to uh, pay attention to those small signs that your own spirit may throw at you as a loop and say, hey, do you remember this? Do we remember this? Have we gotten past this? Have we gotten over this? Now, can we move on to the next stage? Can we graduate and go to the next level, the next grade? Um, and so this is where we uh, are heading into. You may feel the connection with your spirit to start to vibrate more within your heart space, or something that you really truly love or want to do. So fear is an agenda to keep your mind concentrated on one thing, as a magician pulls the rabbit out of the hat on this side. But you may not have seen that the stage was already set up for that. So we have to move as a spirit being. We have to move as a mental martial artist, is what I like to say. In our academy, I like to refer to it as being a master mentalist and a stage artist. So as a performer, we like to create characters or motifs, or this creative way of being before we hit the stage, and this is a mind exercise, we would do. Sometimes I would just sit backstage before I would go on stage, and for like 7 minutes, and I would imagine myself killing this performance, like just going ham and just you know nailing all of the tricks and the acrobatics and and really vibing with the audience. And this what happened for 7 minutes, and then right before I go on stage I have this like wave of energy that just hits my heart as if like someone really turned me on, like my I feel like if it would feel like my light was turned on, like my passion, like okay, I love this. This is going to be the most amazing, greatest show ever. Like this is going to be the best show. It wasn't the show yesterday. It's not the one tomorrow. It's now. It's in the present moment right now. When I step on this stage, it's gonna be fire. And so I go out. When I would go out, I would almost go out in a trance. I realized I had enchanted myself, I had programmed myself. By way of water. The body is 85% water. And so, the way I speak to myself backstage, before I even hit the stage, 7 minutes before that, the way I would speak to myself, the way I would visualize myself, the way I would feel, what it would smell like, um, how close the audience, where the audience, where they're giving me electricity back, and it was this exchange of energy, reciprocity. I was giving something, and they were giving something. It was just this energy of giving, unconditional love, and so when I would actually go onto stage, it would feel like light speed, like a blur. 7 minutes or 10 minute show, sometimes an hour show would go by and it felt like it was like 5 minutes. It's crazy. How this and it would just be like, wow, I did all of this training and rehearsal to get to that one moment, just to living the moment, being that now moment. And so in our academy, um, we like to share the understanding of like the importance of vibrating in that present moment, in that space, in that time, because we're able to create a time loop, and this is how we're able to jump dimensions within our own lives. Someone can start in poverty; they have nothing. They have one shirt, uh, one pair of shoes. They have no money in the bank. They're in the negatives. They just went through something, and somebody out there right now is sleeping in the car. They're homeless. Someone is literally struggling daily, minute by minute, hour by hour, worrying about their next meal. And you think about the state of fear or the state of survival, which is a root chakra energy that this person may be trapped in just because they don't have what they need. Even a person like this can take about 7 minutes of their time and just breathe and completely relax themselves in the present moment and visualize themselves having every single thing that they needed, everything that'll make them happy, everything that'll make them joyful. And they can imagine it, they can visualize it for 7 minutes. Did you know that it's scientifically proven that those people, even the people that are suppressed the most or have actually they have less and they struggle the most, that they have actually a little bit more power in their charge, their mental charge, if they actually knew how to direct it the proper way. They actually can manifest and move matter quicker, a lot faster than those that actually have always had it. Those I've a lot of individuals that come into our academy. Um, they're all from different walks of the world. Some are privileged from birth. They've always had, and they're always they may struggle with connecting to spirit and connecting to this because they've always had everything. They've never not had, so they don't know what it feels like to be poor or to. They really don't understand. Their subconscious is wired into wealth or being rich or having it. Being well off. So they don't understand the balance or the opposite spectrum of someone that may never had it. So it may be a little difficult for them to actually manifest things that are different from what they're able to just buy, you know, versus a person that has never had it. The way their vibration, their energy, and their mind works is it started from a place of survival, and if they learn the techniques of um, um, ascending or lifting the chakras from the root chakra up the spine and activating the kundalini, where they have a sort of cerebral awakening in the cosmic center of their crown chakra, and then they're able to send a signal out. And this signal is very powerful because this signal can create uh, a sort of a response from the universe because it's so strong because of their struggles, you know. And so some things that are pressed down has the most powerful spring up. So if you're going through something right now, you can still activate your what I would call that God power, that goddess power, that DNA energy, that energetic frequency. It can still be sort of ignited from the passion of your heart through visualization and the words that you speak to yourself. Self chanting this year is going to be very, very important. So make sure we are continuously understanding the connection between the mind and the body, or the also above, or also below, the spirit connected to the realm of the earth, and how we are merging. It's all merging right now. So we had a reading for this year. And it's a reading that, myself, I also do readings in divination. But what I like to do is connect with my colleagues or the community of other diviners from different tribes and different nations. Sometimes different council meetings. We come together and we sort of bring our perspective or our take on, what we've received, from our side, and what spirit is saying to us, and what we feel that the earth is going through. And sometimes it gets political, and a lot of times we get into the deep sciences of things and the esoteric mysteries that we really just cannot explain. I love when we come together on those yearly readings because we can kind of see the similarities from different perspectives, which is really cool to see our spiritual community come together like this, and work so much in unison. But one of the main things of this year, being the year 7, that we're all sort of like uh, seeing that it's something very similar, is about raising the frequency. This year is about we must raise our frequency, our energetic frequency, to change the structure of our like molecular body, so that our body is a temple that holds a collective charge. And when we hold a collective charge, we can really manifest and create things all around the world on a larger scale. Some of us right now are doing the same things right now in other parts of the world. Like I'm quite sure there's some other people right now in the communities where you are, wherever you are in the world. It can be in Atlanta, it can be in Florida, it can be in Haiti, it can be anywhere. They are actually speaking on these same subjects at the same time. So there's a large conscious awareness that is happening, and a lot of people are sort of plugging into that, like um, unit, that central space of communication right now together without even knowing each other. So a lot of information's come from different angles, but a lot of the things are the same. Is one of the things we did talk about in that yearly reading. Just looking at it right now, as I check this out, and feel free, to comment below, and if I don't get to it now, I'll definitely look at it later, and connect with us, and let us know like topics that we can be talking about this year. Since we are talking about way of water, we're entering into a watery time. This is very different for all of us. Even me myself, I'm an earth sign. My sun sign, I'm an earth sign. I'm a Capricorn. My birthday was yesterday. By the way, 35 is my year of the cosmic 8. When I add 3 plus 5 equals 8. So it's my year to actually do what I'm doing now, which is share information and share knowledge and wisdom that I have been studying and discovering for the last like 7 years. 7 years. I had taken a break from being public and speaking for a while because Spirit guided me to go within myself for about 3 years. So I kind of like pulled back, and I just kind of sort of did the work. I was less talking and more doing, working on my own energy, my frequency. But even me coming into this year, for my earth sign, is a little different than how it would normally operate. So I have to sort of like stay really deeply connected with my spirit as I move in the flow. Because this whole year is really about the art of flow. Now, the art of flow is a very deep subject. I mean, this subject can take you far in your life. I would recommend a book. If you have some paper or a pen right now, I would recommend grabbing it because I'm going to start releasing books and references as well to look into. I would recommend a book by Shannon Lee, which is Bruce Lee's daughter. And this book is called Be Like Water. I did an audiobook. They also have, you can buy this book on Amazon or pretty much anywhere in the bookstore. I like to listen to this one on an audiobook for the simple fact when I'm moving in my day, when I'm doing what I'm doing, even I'm working out, I'm training martial arts or dancing, I'm working, just doing basic work, or just moving around, just making errands around the city, whatever. You can go to the grocery store, playing around with your children, and you can still be tuning in to this audiobook. And what it's doing is teaching you the art of allowing while you're in motion. I love to do it while I'm moving because it kind of like I get it differently, and I think it's just because of the kinetics of the physical body that connects with the mind, and those connections fire for me when I'm moving, I'm doing things physically, and then I get some wisdom. I may stop and be like, ooh, oh, that was good, and I feel myself like taking mental notes. Oh, I'm gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna put that on my. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna start doing it in my meditation. But this book is very very deeply expressive of Bruce Lee's take on being like water and why he created his martial arts and what it really stood for, which is far beyond what we may believe or think as being just martial arts. Oh, it's all about fighting. Yes, Bruce Lee was the greatest fighter. Yes, but his message and his understanding and wisdom behind why or what he was doing to be this way. The energy he was very deep into energy, frequency, and the thoughts. He was very deep into the mental aspects of training. So he put this. He did a lot of writing, and his daughter Shannon Lee sort of compiled all this information together, and also put her take in it. Just watching him as being his daughter, um, of the way of water, be like water, and how to sort of move through, uh, navigate your spirit, your energy, as way of the mental martial artist by way of use of water, the art of flowing. And it's this book also talks a lot about Taoist techniques and being in the Tao and things like that. But the middle way, the stillness of things, yet always understanding that all things are in motion, even if they appear still. So it's the understanding of how to direct the spirit or to direct the energy frequencies that are away from us and channel them towards increasing things or expanding our own experiences. So I would recommend getting this book. Um, it's called Be Like Water by Shannon Lee. Okay. So as we're moving along tonight, before we get done here tonight, I would like to allow everyone to join me in on we'll do a sort of a full moon meditation together. So what I would like you to do right now is get comfortable wherever you are, whether you're sitting down, lying down. Get comfortable. Uh, if you can, if you want to, you can close your eyes and relax. Take a deep breath in. Hold it and take a deep breath out and releasing slow. Good. Now inhale again, very slow and deep. And exhale. What I want you to do is clear your mind of any moments of the past, any worries of the future. I would like you to focus in on your present moment in the now. Inhale. Exhale. As you inhale this time, I would like you to take your tongue and curl it backwards as if it's turning into a water wave, curling back. Exhale and relax. Becoming like water. Imagine yourself being present on a beautiful beach in the Caribbean island. You're looking out, far out on the horizon, and you see the beautiful luminous sun rising above the waters, and the glistening waters. It looks like a crystal city. As you visualize this scenery, now I want you to feel the sand in your feet. I want you to hear the waves washing on to the shore and washing away. Washing on and washing away. Take a deep breath again. I want you to smell the water. Exhale. Now imagine yourself standing up as the waves are rising and falling, and you walk into the water, taking steps into the water now. Now the ocean water is pushing against your knees and pulling you closer to go further into the water. As you take a few steps in, the water is now closer to your neck. Inhale. Feel the expansiveness of the water and being submerged in this water. Exhale. Now imagine yourself dropping under the water. Feel the water, feel the frequency of the waves above your head now as you are submerged in the water. Now imagine as if you can breathe in this water. Inhale. And exhale. Becoming like the water. We move like a serpent dragon, which activates the kundalini that sits at the base of the spine. Inhale. Raise the frequency up your spine. Feel it going up the back of your neck. Exhale. Allow the energy to fall into place. Feel the waves above your head. As you are the water, you are the waves. You have become the water. You have merged with the spirit element of the water. Now you receive the understanding of the connection of the way or the path of being in the now, in the present moment, to flow around any obstacle that may come into your path. To not resist this year. It's not about resisting. It's about manifesting. How do I attract? As a magnet, I am a magnet. So when we breathe to attract, to pull in what we desire. And as we exhale, we give it the currency, or we give it the energy to be manifested by the force of the breath. So we inhale deep again. At the highest peak, concentrate on that desire that you wish to see. Hold the charge. Now exhale. see it manifested as if you are that now, in the very moment. I am that. Now settle. Allow your emotions to flow as they flow. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to connect. To become like the water, we must flow. Flow within our communication. Flow within our expression. Flow within our artistic endeavors. Flow within our creative adventures. To come to a neutral space and allow the mind to not overstimulate, but just be in the moment of itself, to be aware of self. This year is the year 7, the year of transmutation, the year of regeneration, the year of something ending and something else starting, a new beginning, a rebirthing of a conscious, of deep stored genetic memory. There's said to be untapped potential and untapped memory stored in the 33 vertebrae of our human bodies that we still have not tapped into. And this holds the genetic memory of our ancestors, of our spirit guides, and our higher selves. Inhale for me one more time, very deep and slow. As we exhale, open your eyes and become the charge. I hope you're feeling good now. I hope you're feeling amazing. I would like you to take this charge with you. And even tonight, wherever you are in the world, spend about 7 minutes after this video meditating on your desires. Concentrate, breathe, connect, visualize the element of water, even if you have to sit with water. One thing that you can do, one ritual that you can do, a moon ritual actually, is perfect for tonight, is get some distilled water or boil some water where it's distilled, untouched water. Water that has no minerals, no consciousness in it, so the water acts as an empty cup or a vessel itself. What you would do is get you a cup of this water or a bowl of this water, and you sit down in your meditation for 7 minutes. Meditate. Go through a full creation or design of the life that you wish to attract to you, manifest in the next 7 years. Exactly what they will look like. If it's a house, literally walk through the house in your mind, touch the walls, wash the dishes, do the things that you love doing that you would do in the house if you already had it now. So that's the concentration. Now, when you have this water, stare into this water as if you're scribing, trying to draw or imprint this visual in that water. Now, what you do is you breathe deep 7 times, and on the last seventh breath, you hold it. You visualize that thought, and you blow the thought as if you're blowing it directly into this water. What this does is it now impregnates the water. It charges the water with those vibratory molecules or that somatics energy of your chants and your voice and your thoughts of what you manifested into the water. You imprint this water with your consciousness of that thing now being sent out into the universe to be created or manifested. Now, with this water, tonight, what you do is you sit underneath this moon with your water, or you set your water out underneath the moon. Allow the moon to charge it. You can let this happen for overnight, until the next day. I would recommend just to let it charge for maybe just only like an hour, maybe 3 hours underneath the moon. That's all you really need, just to get some of that lunar energy to advance the electromagnetic waves of the vibration that's going to be hitting this water with connection with your voice and your thoughts and what you have visualized and put into this water. Now, from this, you take this water over the next 7 days. You drink this water. And make sure you're drinking enough portions to last you for 7 days after this day. And on the last day, that's when you would drink all of the water and see that as now your manifestation being sealed, as if you're sealing an envelope and you send it out. You already know, you have faith that that envelope is going to make it to its destination. So same with this conscious thought. When you're drinking this water, you are now using the water as an envelope, and you are the mailbox, and you are sending this into the universe within yourself. You are designing the patterns, the visual cymatics of the water frequencies in your body. You are crystallizing your water in your body to send the wave out into the conscious universe to attract this energy to you, to manifest those desires that you wish to see. So I want you to do this after this video. If you have to go back and watch this video several times and just rewind it just to that part, feel free to do that. If you know anyone else in your family, in your community, your friends, or someone that has been, speaking on these subjects as far as like, what's going on 2023, I feel different. Something's going on with me. Guide them to this video. Each one teaches one, and so we never know. We can really help a lot of people by spreading the word and spreading the consciousness of 2023, the year of seven. It's a cosmic year of transformation, the year of the enter into the way of water, the way of emotion, the way of spirit. And so I thank you so much for joining in with me on this live. It was very beautiful. I also want to remind you to, down below in the description will be our new channel that will be actually migrating everything to. It'll be transitioning, integrating new knowledge and wisdom. We'll also have a podcast on there underneath in the description as well, that you can listen to some of the information that we'll be sharing there. We'll be doing a lot of different things. We'll also create a Facebook group, or what we call like a community, that we'll be actually setting up retreats, events, meditation courses, qigong classes. We'll be doing movement, capoeira. We'll be doing sound therapy, and I'll also be hosting a lot of my dear good friends and different shamans, energy workers, artists, musicians, masters of esoteric knowledge and wisdom that'll be joining us in the near future on these lives as our panelists and the podcast, as we'll be tapping into this year of Way of Water. And again, I want to send blessings to all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you all. Until next time, peace. Ashe.